Hey everyone, it's Carrie here. So one of my favourite quotes of all time is by the late Zig Ziglar, and he said, "If you want to reach a goal, you must see the reaching in your own mind before you actually arrive at your goal." And it is so true. The most successful people around do this. They clearly visualise exactly what it is that they want, to the extent that it's almost like it's happened. They see it so clearly in their mind and they feel it so clearly that it's like it's already happened. It's like it's a done deal. And there is so much power in that. So in this video, I want to talk all about visualization, and I want to talk about how you can actually start to visualize achieving what you want. So visualizing achieving the results that you want to achieve. And I feel really privileged because as a really young child, my dad taught me all about the power of visualization. And so, for example, when I was a teenager, he actually bought me the Rich Dad Poor Dad books. And when I was reading them, I decided that I wanted to be financially free. And so I used to imagine getting my bank statements through and opening them up and seeing a certain amount of money in my bank. And I kind of went to the extent of getting a bank statement and Tipp-Exing out the balance and writing in what I wanted to see in my bank account. And I actually stuck it in this goal book I had at the time, and I used to look at it all the time. But I used to lie in bed at night visualizing it, like seeing that envelope turn up through the door and opening it, pulling out my bank statement and seeing that amount on my bank statement so clearly. And I felt how it would feel when I opened that letter, and it happened. There is so much power in it. Like with most people, I did kind of go off track at some points, and I went through a phase of starting to visualise all the things I didn't want to achieve. And I find this is a mistake a lot of us make, where we spend a lot of time during the day visualising all the things that might go wrong, or visualising all this terrible stuff that might happen. You know, a lot of people lie in bed at night worrying about things and thinking the worst case scenarios. And you know, I am so guilty of it. I spent a lot of time doing it. But having been one of those people that have visualised what I want, seen it clearly, and also been one of those people that have kind of got stuck with it all and ended up visualising all the things I didn't want, I can really clearly see by it happening to me the impact that that has on my life. I know that when I visualise what I want, it has a dramatic impact on my life in a positive way. And when I visualise all the things I don't want, it has a dramatic impact on my life in all the ways I don't want. So I feel like this is so unbelievably crucial in order to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And visualising has been amazing for me, and some weird stuff starts to happen. So I just want to share a story with you. So when I launched the magazine, I used to visualise very clearly the people that I wanted on my front cover, the people who I wanted to do cover interviews with. And one of them was Michael Gerber, the best-selling author of The E-Myth. And it's one of my favourite books of all time, and I had built my first business through using the principles in his book. And so I really wanted to interview him, and I'd started to send him emails and I'd done all sorts, and I couldn't get in touch with him. But I visualised very clearly the front cover. I knew exactly what it was going to look like. I knew what the picture of him I wanted to be on the front cover was. And you saw the strapline, I saw the header, I saw everything. I was really clear in my mind. I could see this. I had imagined how it would feel to turn around to tell people, yeah, Michael Gerber's on the next front cover, and how I would feel when I hit the send button on that email that went out to all those women with the magazine with Michael Gerber on the front cover. I pictured it so clearly in my mind. It had happened. It had already happened. I was certain of it. I just didn't know how it was going to happen. And so I'd been trying to get in touch with him, and it wasn't really happening. And then one day I just decided to go on his fan page on Facebook. And when I went on his fan page, for some reason I just thought I'd click on the pictures. So I was looking through his photos, and one of the first ones I saw was this quote, and I thought, that looks really familiar. I'm sure that's one of mine. And so I went back to my Facebook fan page and started flicking through the photos, and there it was. This quote that I had created, that I had actually made on Michael Gerber's fan page. So he had to somehow have seen my quote from my fan page, downloaded it and uploaded it to his fan page. I mean, what are the chances Michael Gerber had seen a quote I had made? I couldn't believe it. So I wrote this little comment that said something like, "I'm really flattered you liked my picture, maybe I could interview you now." So they got back in touch with me straight away and set the interview up and spoke to him, and it was amazing. And I sometimes think that maybe there's more to all of it than meets the eye kind of thing, and maybe that when you visualise so clearly what you want to achieve, it's almost like your brain starts to believe that it's already happened, and then you start to figure out ways, or different ways to actually make it happen, and you come up with new ideas that you never normally have come up with, or different things, different actions you take in order to make it happen. I believe there's so much power in it. And the same thing happened when I was nominated for an award last year, and I wanted to win this award so badly. And I would picture every night before I went to bed, every morning when I woke up, I did a guided visualization, which was really relaxing, put me in a really relaxed state of mind. And then I got to create these movies in my mind, and I would picture being stood on that stage, and I would hear them say, and the winner is Carrie Green. And I would just feel so intensely how I was going to feel, and hear the crowd clapping and cheering. And then I would picture it, and then how amazing it would be. And I knew that if I won the award, that I would get a helicopter mentoring session with Lord Billamoria. So I started to picture that too. I imagined getting on that helicopter with him. I imagined being sat with him in the helicopter, talking to him. I imagined looking out of the window of the helicopter with the thought of, this is going to happen, and I'm going to look out the window, and this would be how I imagined it to be. And it was so vivid how I pictured it. And so that day when they announced the winner, when I was stood on that stage and they said the words, and the winner is Carrie Green, it was like it had already happened. It was like I had already experienced it, because all the same emotions flooded into me that I had imagined day in, day out, from the moment I knew I was nominated to the day I won. And it was incredible. It is incredible. The power of visualization is amazing. So I really want to share with you the strategy that I use to visualize, and it's a really effective way to visualize. So first off, I want to say that one of the most powerful times to do this is at night time, just before you go to sleep. So when you're lying in bed at night, before you drift off, take 5 to 10 minutes to start really visualizing what you want to achieve. Start visualizing the results that you want to achieve. And when you're lying there, how I do it, I like to close my eyes and get myself in a relaxed state. I actually listen to a guided visualization to do it, but you don't have to. If you do, there are tons online, and a really great friend and mentor of mine, Jason Jackman, created a 20-minute guided visualization for me, which if you want it, it's on the website. But you don't have to, you can just do it yourself the way I'm about to explain. So close your eyes and take a few deep breaths in, and just try and really relax yourself. And in fact, a great way to relax yourself is to, so often we carry so much tension around in the jaw, and if you just let your jaw go loose and don't have your teeth clenched together, just let your jaw go loose, it can be a great way to start loosening you up. So just try and relax, close your eyes, and then the way I do it is I first start off by almost imagining watching a movie, so watching a big movie screen, and I imagine what I want to achieve happening in front of me, and I'm seeing it happening. And then as it kind of builds and develops, I put myself in the picture. So for example, when I was imagining winning the award, I would start off by seeing it happening. So I'd see myself stood on the stage, I'd see the audience, and then I'd put myself in that picture, so I would be on the stage, and then I was looking around and thinking of the things I could hear, like people in the audience, what could I see, how dark, how light was the room, and what I could hear. And then I would be stood there, and then I'd imagine them saying, and the winner is Carrie Green, and I'd hear it, and then I would just feel how I'd feel. Like sometimes it could be goosebumps because I'd be visualizing it so intensely. I just knew how it was going to feel. It was a done deal. And then I visualized the whole thing. And the thing is, the more clear you can make it, the more emotive you can make it, so connecting more with the emotional side. How do you feel? What sounds can you hear, making them louder? It all adds to it being more powerful and more real. So you actually, it's like it's already happened. So do that for like 5 to 10 minutes, or however long you want. If you want to do it longer, then great. And then once you've finished, if you have any doubts or any thoughts or part of you that doesn't think that it's going to happen, you've got to release them. Release those feelings. And one of the ways I do this is I always imagine, for example, imagine if you were a year down the line, and if I told you in a year's time you will have achieved this on this date, you will have achieved this on this date, you will have achieved this on this date. How does that make you feel? Because when I think of that, it makes me feel relieved. It makes me stop hanging on so tightly to the doubts and the worries and the what ifs and the what could go wrong, and it helps me to release it all. And I just release it, and then I trust. I trust that it's going to happen. I trust that it's going to figure itself out. And if it helps you, you could also say maybe an affirmation. So you could say something like, all my needs are met, or I trust that I'm going to make all of this happen. I trust that this will happen and that I have everything I need in order to make it happen. And just say something like that and believe it. Let go, just release the doubts and the worries, just release them. Even if you just say, I release my doubts and worries, that is enough to do it. And just do that, and then just trust that you will make it happen. And just say to yourself, this is a done deal. It is a done deal. It's happened. When I won that award, it had already happened so many times in my head before it actually happened. So it's so powerful to do this. Honestly, the most successful people in the world do this all the time. They train their minds. Our mind is such a powerful, powerful tool. And if we can use it to visualize what we want, we can achieve amazing things. So let's do that. Let's visualize what we want instead of what we don't want, and start attracting better things into our lives. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please share it and leave me a comment. I love reading the comments, and I will see you next time.